Hey, what's happening, my friends? John Hiley here with the Kingdom Power Life, coming to you guys today with another video where we're going to be talking about what we talk about on this channel. We're going to be talking about God and money and business and how all of this stuff works and how we can not only make a major kingdom impact, but we can change other people's lives by us showing up and being the example of the way that God intended us to live our life. That's what it's about, my friends. Salvation is a gift from God, but having an amazing life here is definitely going to take some effort on your part, walking this thing out the way God had actually intended you to do so. So, that being said, if this is the first time that you've watched this, came to this channel, please take a moment. If you're into this stuff, I'm into this stuff. We're going to be into this stuff together. So take time and right now and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, write me a comment. I want to hear how you feel about the video and how you feel about the channel. And then also share it. Please share it. We're trying to get the message out in the world that Christian entrepreneurs, we have not only the wisdom, which is in the Holy Bible, but we've got the Holy Spirit inside of us, and this gives us a competitive advantage to anybody out there in the world today, okay? So my friends, we are set aside. We're going to talk about that today. We are sanctified, and we're going to talk about that today. So that being said, the title of this video has a little bit of controversy to it. It says, "Is money the root of all evil?" Well, what it actually says in the Bible, it says that the love of money is the root of all evil. So there's a big difference there because I hear this all the time. I believe that there was somebody famous, some movie star or an actor or something to that nature the other day said that money was the root of all evil. But the Bible does not make no mistake. It says that the love of money is the root of all evil. Basically meaning that you love money more than you love people. And I talk about that in the Bible, or I talk about that on this channel, and they do talk about it in the Bible, that money would be nothing without people. And I really think that God is trying to get this to compute in many of our minds, that our wealth is other people. It's not money. Money is a byproduct of exchange with other people. And the amazing thing about money, I actually did a video just recently. It was called Blood versus Money. And in the Hebrew language, the two words really blend together. And in fact, whenever two words come together in the Hebrew language and they've got similar meanings, you've really got to explore the overlap. And we actually explored the overlap in yesterday's video between blood and money. And the incredible thing about, the two of them is that they both function very similar, although blood functions in our body and it gives us circulation, money, and life. Circulation and life. Money functions in a society very similar. So if you want to go deeper into that, watch yesterday's video on blood and money. It's absolutely incredible. It'll blow your mind, and you'll begin to fully understand what God means by all this talk about love, the love of money. So, to be quite frank with you guys, the love of money, I do not understand this because it really is quite pathetic, especially if you're a child of God. If you're a child of God and you actually love money, you're literally in a royal family, in a royal priesthood, and you can't really distinguish that it's not something that you give love to. In fact, it's of service to you. So money is an extension of who you are, meaning when you go out and you serve somebody, you get money in exchange, and you can actually go have somebody serve you for that exchange. So it's a beautiful thing in society. In fact, there's been some of my mentors have called it reward certificates, meaning that when you do something good and praiseworthy, assuming that you're not scamming somebody or you're a Ponzi scheme or, any of these type of things that we see that go on out there in the worldly ways, if you're doing it the right way then that reward certificate is well deserved. And in fact, you can present that certificate other places that you go, and you can exchange that for other services, which is a beautiful thing because that shows that you service somebody else. So money was actually meant to display that you're an individual who services people. You're an individual who shows up and helps. And we discussed this yesterday in a video about the blood and money, that money is going to go to where it's needed, almost like white blood cells, where they're going to, go where they are needed. They're going to, in fact, stem cells are going to go and repair areas of your body that actually need healing. And money is going to do the same thing in society. So ultimately, our job as entrepreneurs is to go find problems and fix them because money will flow to that problem area. So these are some of the overlaps between money and blood that is just incredibly powerful. So you've got to understand, and you really got to get it out of your mind. This is such an evil way of thinking when you think that making money or contributing to the well-being of other people is something that is the root of evil. In fact, I will go as far to say that it's the exact opposite. Now, the love of money, of course, is because it is nothing. The money exists. It's nothing without other people or being able to solve other people's problems. So the people are much more important than the money. The money doesn't have problems to solve. The money is the solution to most people's problems. So when you start to put the love of money ahead of the love of people, that's when you can find yourself on the other side of the fence doing things for the wrong reason. Meaning that, I talked about Ponzi schemes, I've heard of real estate schemes and, all of these people. In fact, over the last 3 years, I've seen some of my friends get scammed out of a lot of money. Jesus saved me. I didn't get scammed out of anything over the last few years. But I've seen a lot of my friends over the last few years get scammed out of a lot of money. And it just seemed like in the entrepreneur circles, when money was injected into the economy, these scammers just came out from everywhere. So, that being said, yeah, it can be done wrong. And yes, they did it for the love of money because there's no way that you can scam somebody and do it for the love of the person. So this is the distinguishing factor that God is laying out for us to fully process and to fully understand. In fact, if you go back through God's view throughout the Bible of wealth creation, we've got all of these different Bible characters that show up that were incredibly wealthy. King Solomon was not only the wisest man on earth. I always say the second wisest man because he was during his time, but then Jesus came. So I always say that King Solomon was the second wisest man. And he was, in fact, if you're looking at monetary wealth, meaning the stuff that he had and the money that he created, he was absolutely the richest man that had ever lived. There's some other debatable, but he was incredibly, very wealthy. And in fact, if you look at some of where he had received his wealth, was just incredible. He received it from kings and queens, not only sending their people to essentially hear King Solomon or be mentored by King Solomon or be near King Solomon, but they came themselves. In fact, one of the examples of that is Queen Sheba, who had came to Solomon, and I believe between the livestock that she brought, the herbs and spices, the jewels, the gold, like everything that she brought all together turned into about $500 million of today's net worth. So I believe just the talents of gold alone would have been about $250 million that she had given King Solomon just to get some wisdom from him. And in fact, she was actually in the Bible, it says that he exceeded what she had heard about him. So I want you guys to really think about that, because how many times do individuals say that they had a service or they got a coaching call with somebody or they went and, had their car repaired, whatever that looked like, that they actually say that this place exceeded what they believed how valuable it was going to be. And that is a secret. That is a definitely a King Solomon secret. He exceeded what she imagined, and here she paid him the equivalent of probably a very small coaching session, meaning that she showed up at his palace and probably spent 2 or 3 days there. It doesn't give you an exact timeline. She may have spent an hour. She may have spent 2 weeks there. I don't know. But during her time or during her stay, she gave a $500 million. $500 million, and said that he exceeded what she had thought during this visit. You've also got Bible characters like Abraham, who was known for his faith. I mean, he was full of faith. It became very wealthy. In fact, he actually was able to just arm the servants of his house to go and get Lot. So, I mean, and essentially they went against an army. So if that could tell you, if that just allows you to imagine how many servants that Abraham had to be able to go fight and attack an entire army and to go get Lot back, I mean, that's just incredible. If you look back at that time. So Abraham was very wealthy. And then if you go on to Job, who went through all of these trials and tribulations that he had dealt with during his life, but God exceeded and actually brought him back to more wealth than he had originally, than what he had lost. So all of these stories are designed for us to truly learn and truly understand that God's desire for our life is absolutely to have abundance and to live in a state where we don't have to be caught in the web of the devil, especially in today's society where everybody's confused and there's all this gender confusion and there's all this, wouldn't it be great to be able to put your kid in a private school and get them away from that? When we're in a day and age where employers tend to support things that we don't necessarily support. Wouldn't it be great to leave that employer and go build your own business and create your own culture and begin doing things God's way? Money is absolutely a way to break away from the devil's system, which is the world. And if there was ever a time where we're living in the current world system that's controlled by the devil, it is now. It is now. I can tell you one thing, this system is like the way things are in our government and in big corporations, it's not being ran by God. So who's it being ran by? We know who it's being ran by. There's never been a better time to break away, pull the kingdom of heaven right down here up on earth and do what you can to get away and become an example for other people to see and to lead them to Jesus through who wants to follow somebody who doesn't do things God's way, and God's way will inevitably make you wealthy. You are serving people, and you are giving to people, and you are helping people, and you are looking. It is the most selfless thing that you can absolutely do, is when you begin giving to people, but in exchange, both of your lives get lifted in that exchange. So, my friends, in conclusion of this, I just want to say that it's crucial for Christians to get rid of this idea that we, are doing something noble by denying any type of success in our lives. It's not noble. It's not followable. And it certainly doesn't do anything to help us while we're down here. And we certainly can't help other people, because I'm telling you, most of people's prayers that they're asking for right now is for food on their table. And, Christmas, Christmas was just yesterday, gifts for their children during Christmas. College tuitions, bills and debts being paid off, medical bills being taken care of. Like, all of this stuff takes money to function. So the only way that you can show up, and well, not the only way, but I'm going to say a very powerful way, a very important way that you can show up and be a blessing on people's life is if you are blessed yourself. So you are blessed to be a blessing. That is the way that God wanted us to function here on earth. And I can hear it right now, the arguments, the rich young ruler and this and that. Well, guess what? I already did a video about that. Go back and watch that video. I'm not going to duplicate that. That is, there's a lot of false beliefs around that. And then, I would go as far to say, well, then why did Jesus talk about the parable of the talents? And the evil one, you know, a talent was like over $1 million for this block of gold. Over $1 million for a block of gold. And Jesus literally went through the parable of the talents, and one man got 5, one man got 2, or one man got 3, and then the other man got 1. And it was the person who only got 1 that buried and hid their talents that was called the wicked one and was cast out. The other men invested it and brought back more to their owner. Now, it's just incredible that the word talents in the Bible is also in the English language. We call the talents that you have inside of you. So how can you multiply the talents that you have inside you? Don't tell me you don't got any talents. Don't tell me there's not something you can do in this earth. Don't tell me that there's not something inside of you that allows you to serve other people, because I guarantee you there is, and you are good at something. And God doesn't want you to bury that. God wants you to give that to other people in exchange for monetary wealth. Look at the parable of the talents. Jesus said it. You guys want to get mad at me because I'm telling you? Then go get mad at Jesus, because he's the one that said the parable. And it's, in my opinion, one of the most important. All of them are very important, but the parable of the talents is incredibly powerful life learning lesson for you to understand, especially if you're a business owner or you plan on being a business owner, because you've got to get this thing out of your head that wealth is bad, because it is good. Now, if you're going to do some bad stuff with it, then it is bad. And if you're trying to get it in a terrible way, then it is bad. So do things God's way, and you can't go wrong with the wealth that you receive. That's the key. That's the key to success, my friends. And we have a guide. The guide is called the Bible. It's on every one of your shelves. If you don't have one, email me. I'll send you one. Okay. So anyhow, y'all, I appreciate you for coming along on this talk today about, is money the love of money? It actually says the root of all evil. People confuse that so much. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil, because you're supposed to love the people. And when you love the people, you're going to wake up and you're going to be relentless, imagining and thinking about ways to serve them. And when you do that, you get to exchange and make their life better in that exchange. And then you get to go out and spend money with people and contribute to society and hire people and do all kinds of the fun things that you can do with money that actually help societies function and flow, just like blood brings life to your body and circulates everywhere. You can begin circulating it everywhere and making other people's lives better just in that exchange alone. So anyhow, y'all, again, if you are digging what you're hearing on this channel, please please subscribe, share, hit the little notification bell, do all that YouTube stuff. And if you want to jump in on the conversation, head on over to kingdompowerlife.com, where we've got links over to our Facebook group where you can actually jump in on the conversation. That is, the Facebook group is Kingdom Power Life. Or again, you can head on over to kingdompowerlife.com and not only get a link to the Facebook group, but you can get any of our free trainings that we have available over there, all kinds of cool stuff that we have, resources, downloads, all that fun stuff. Probably by now, we're going to have a link to the podcast here soon. All of that great goodness that you can learn and listen, and really ultimately at the end of the day become the best version that God intended you to be. Look, my friends, if you've got Jesus in your life, you've won the prize. You've gotten to the goal. You've made it to the end of the race. Now, if you want to have an incredible life while you're here, bring more children by being an example to individuals, and bring life to everybody around you, start doing things God's way. It's very simple. He's given us a template to follow. We're not going to be perfect, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because Lord knows, if you've heard my story, I've went through some trials, and I've went through some ups and downs, but what I am saying is that I'm perfectly on the right path right now, and I'm taking a lot of you with me. So all y'all coming with me, if you're watching this, I appreciate you. As usual, I'm going to see you on the next one.